Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys today? I am coming to you today with this super cute treat package. It has this awesome little pumpkin. How cute is this pumpkin? I made our pumpkin with our punch, which is the double oval punch. So you're gonna want that double oval punch because it really helps to make your pumpkin. And it's a slider and there's Tic Tacs in there. How cute, right? So this ribbon is our pale papaya ribbon, which I colored with Stampin' Blends to make it pumpkin pie and match our project. And this is the back and this is the front of our cute treat holder. The Sentiments is from Scary Cute. I've been using that for the last 3 weeks. And this is our scallop contour dies. If you don't have them, you want them. I use them a ton. It's probably my third most used dies in all of my die sets. I use the second smallest die from this to do our scallops that are right here. So let's go ahead and get started. So we have a piece of basic black cardstock that's 5 3/4 by 3 inches, and we are going to score it down the long side, okay, at 1 inch, 1 3/4, 3 1/2, and 4 1/4. Just like that. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way. We are going to have 2 of those scallops, like I said, and then I have a piece of designer series paper for the scallop rectangle. I used a 4 by 3 1/4 inch piece of pumpkin pie, and I cut both of them from that. And then I have 1 piece of this striped DSP, which is 1 1/2 inches by 2 3/4, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that down with my wet adhesive. You can see the back is gray and black. I wanted it to be white, so I'm using the white side. The same stripe is on the back, it's just gray. This is a really great pack of pattern paper. It's on page 55 of the mini catalog. It's called Black and White Designs. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up, and we will attach this right in the center of our rectangle and just make sure that it's lined up nice, just like that. Okay, so set that to the side. Let's grab our scrap and let's color our pale papaya ribbon. So I'm going to grab the brush end of my pumpkin pie. I'm going to start on this end and I'm just going to stroke to the end, just like that. Okay, I'm going to slide it up and I'm just going to keep going over my ribbon, just making sure that I have all of it covered all the way to the end. And you can see that it goes through to the back. If there's any pieces that are light, I would just apply them to the front and then it will soak through to the back. So there is our pumpkin pie ribbon. Really quick, really easy. I used the dark pumpkin pie blend and a scrap paper. All right, so here's our Tic Tacs, and they're Halloween Tic Tacs. I got them at Target, so if you're interested in that. And then this piece of designer series, we're gonna wrap this around our Tic Tacs, and we're gonna wrap it around the bottom section because I wanted you to be able to see this top part. So this is 1 1/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and you're just basically gonna find your spot, wrap it around, turn this over, glue this down, you'll be done. So I'm going to give it a nice crease there. I'm just going to grab this. It doesn't go quite to the edge of that white strip, so when I put my glue on here, I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. I'm going to start here and then I'm going to stop right about there. So as this comes around, there we go. Let it press down, push it into place, and then rub it. So there is our stripe on the bottom of our Tic Tacs, so that the top is nice and cute and decorated. So here is our piece that we scored at 1 inch, 1 3/4 of an inch, 3 1/2, and 4 1/4. We're gonna go ahead and burnish on the score lines. I'm gonna move my ribbon out of the way. All right, this is gonna wrap around our Tic Tacs and it's gonna form our little box shape, okay? Just like that. So you wanna put your Tic Tacs inside and then you wanna make sure that they're wrapped pretty tight, but not so tight that you're not gonna be able to push them out, okay? Because they need room to pop in and out, and you don't want that to happen. See what happened? This came off. You definitely don't want that to happen, okay? So let's make sure that we don't do it quite that tight. Okay, I was just trying to show you how not to do it. And it doesn't matter that you have a seam on the back because it's gonna get covered over. Remember, we're putting our solid rectangle in the back, so you're not gonna see the seam. So we want this tight again, but not so tight that this piece can't slide all the way up. So right about there, it looks good. So I'm just gonna hold it in place. And I'm gonna go ahead and attach. It looks like about 1/4 of an inch is sticking out. And so I'm gonna put adhesive on the back of this stripe and just stop about 1/4 of an inch from the end. And we'll slide this up and just hold it till it starts to grab, but we don't want it to be completely glued yet. We're gonna slide in our Tic Tacs and make sure that it's not too loose that the Tic Tacs slide out the back, okay? You do not want that to happen. So now that we have it tight enough that this pulls up, but not where the Tic Tacs fall out the bottom, we can glue our rectangle on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the middle section, not where the scallops are, but on the middle section of this rectangle. Okay. And then this one's going to get glued to cover that seam on the back. We'll know it's the back because it does not have the striped paper. And we're going to just put that in place. It's super cute, right? This is a cute little treat holder. Now we're going to glue this one onto the front of our Tic Tacs. And again, same place. Put a little adhesive in the middle of that rectangle. And go ahead and set that down on the front of your holder and just make sure that it fits. Fantastic. Okay, we're gonna pull our Tic Tacs out. We're gonna take this ribbon and we are gonna hold it around and pull it to the top like this on our Tic Tacs, okay? So it's right in the center. We're gonna take both ends and we're gonna pretend that we're tying the end of a balloon, like, you know, you've blown a balloon up and now you need to tie the end of it. So you wrap this around your finger and then you're gonna make kind of a loop, and you're gonna push those both ends together into that loop that you've made with your finger. And then you're gonna grab them and you're gonna hold it and you're gonna slide this knot down. I'm not exactly sure what kind of knot this is. I don't really know anything about knots. I just call it like a balloon knot because I know that I use it when I tie balloons. And you really want to push it down so that it's nice and tight along the end of that Tic Tac right there, like that. And then these ends, we're going to trim those off. So for right now, we don't need to, but now we can slide our ribbon piece into our Tic Tac sleeve. Okay. And that's what we have so far. All right, we need to do our pumpkin and our stem. And I have two pieces here because I want to stamp my words, which is Halloween happiness. So let me grab my stamp that says that. We are going to heat emboss. And when we heat emboss, we're going to use our embossing buddy. There is in the mini catalog an embossing kit. Gonna put powder over the top of our paper because that way we get any oils that have built up on our fingers that we've deposited onto our cardstock. This will eliminate the static that causes when we do heat embossing. So you're going to do that first. You're going to take your Versamark ink pad and you're going to ink it up in your happiness, Halloween happiness. And once you're happy with the amount of Versamark you have in there, you're going to go ahead and stamp that onto your paper. And we're going to lift that up. It doesn't matter if it's crooked because we're going to cut it, but there it is, okay? And now I am going to set that to the side. I'll clean it in a minute. Here is my little container. I've poured my entire jar of white embossing powder. I'm going to hold this end and I'm just going to get powder onto my piece and then shake that off, okay? And if there's anything that's stray, I like to use just a paintbrush and wipe the excess powder away like that. So let's go ahead and close our embossing powder. I'm going to get my heat gun. And I'm going to heat this up. I'm going to do it off camera. My heat gun is plugged in and it's not real close to the camera. So just give me a second. You'll hear the gun, but you won't be able to see me. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my tweezers and hold on to this piece so that I don't burn my fingers. And I'm heating my gun. You can hear that. And I'm going ahead and attaching it to my I'm pointing it towards my powdered end of my paper, and I'm melting that powder with the gun, and it will form, it will melt that white powder from the embossing powder, and we will have that really cool pop of white on the black. There it is. Nice and heat set. So now I'm going to trim that down. I'm going to use my little paper trimmer. I keep this little guillotine one on my desk. So now I have to straighten this out right because I stamped it crooked, but that's okay. We can straighten it out, no problem. We're just going to follow the words and not the paper as our guide, and then we're going to trim the sides. Let me put this actually up here. Like that, and then we'll trim this side, maybe a tiny bit more. There we go. So there's our Halloween happiness. Let's do our pumpkin next. All right, so we're going to use our pumpkin pie ink. We're going to use our double oval punch here. So I'm going to turn it to this side, and I only want the smooth oval, so we're going to get 2 out of this piece. and one out of my other piece. These are just scraps that I had lying around. Let's grab our last one. So those are 3 ovals that we need. Trash. Close our oval punch on the back. You just lock that into place. And now we are going to attach them together. So I'm going to grab my silicone mat here. We're going to put a little bit of wet adhesive on both of these ovals that are on the side. Okay, one on this one and one on this one. The one in the middle is not going to get the adhesive because we're going to put this like so. And then when it's set, I'm going to move it over, whoops, onto this, and it's going to form our little pumpkin shape, just like that. I'm going to use my glue adhesive in case any glue eased out, my glue eraser, in case any glue oozed out. And we are going to hand cut out of a piece of Granny Apple Green our stem. And so you're just gonna curve this side, then you're gonna go straight, okay? And then you're gonna kind of follow that same curve again, like that, only not quite as steep. And that's your stem. And then this, you can just trim that end off and save that for another pumpkin. And then I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive here. And every time I do the stem, it's going to be different, right? Because we're just hand making the stems, just like every pumpkin is a little different. But before I glue that down, I just realized I haven't actually put my pumpkin pie adhesive on here. So I definitely want to, I mean, my ink on here is what I meant, not adhesive. So I'm going to pick up some pumpkin pie and I'm going to grab a scrap paper. And I'm gonna just run that pumpkin pie along my sides and then in an oval shape here in the middle, okay? And so that's gonna add some really pretty color onto my pumpkin. Kind of have a streak on this side, which is pretty. I'll try and streak this side as well. There we go. Fantastic. So once you've added that little pop of color to your pumpkin with your pumpkin pie ink, now you can add your stem. Hopefully it didn't stick to my paper. We'll put a little more glue on there now. So I forgot to do that before we added our stem. So now we're going to add our stem. So the stem goes back here behind the pumpkin or behind that middle oval, just like that. Isn't it cute? And then we're going to glue down the Halloween happiness onto the top of the pumpkin. Grab my tweezers. Just like that. So there's our Halloween happiness. Perfect. And now we're going to pop our pumpkin up onto our box. So I'm going to use some large or regular size, not large, but they're not many. So we're going to put maybe 4 of these, and you can put less, but I'm putting 4. 4 dimensionals on the back. I have to clean my stamp, don't let me forget. Grab my 4 dimensionals off. Attach our little pumpkin onto the front of our Tic Tacs. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Let me grab my ribbon scissors. Trim the edges of our pull ties here. Perfect. Just like that. I'm going to clean my Versamark ink off of my stamp. Move this silicone mat. And here is our cute pumpkin Tic Tac slider. And we used our Scary Cute stamp set for the words. Our double oval punch for our pumpkin. I hope that you guys enjoyed this project. Super simple. The Pale Papaya ribbon was about 13 inches. The wrap itself for the Tic Tacs was 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. The DSP on the front was 1 1/2 by 2 3/4. And then the piece itself that I die cut the scallop rectangles out of from the scallop contour dies was 4 by 3 1/4. I got both of them out of that piece. And my basic black for the wrap of the Tic Tacs was 5 3/4 by 3, scored at 1, 1 3/4, 3 1/2, and 4 1/4. The stem was granny apple green. I just hand cut that. The basic black was for our sentiment, and we used white embossing powder and Versamark ink, and pumpkin pie for our ovals. Okay, guys, I guess that's everything. I hope that you enjoyed the project. You'll come back tomorrow for my final project this week. I will be doing another week of Halloween, so if you missed it, check it out. All right, thanks for being here. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. Happy stamping!